Yo, what is going on, guys? It is your boy Kimbo here, and this video is brought to you by none other than Haru Ren at BakuTalk.
Hello, brawlers, and welcome back to the BakuTalking Longer Podcast. I'm Haru Ren, and today I got an epic guest for you today. He is a Baku master who has over 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. He is probably one of the most prominent members of the Bakugan community. He does a lot of Beyblade videos, and probably one of the most humble, generous, and most awesome guys you'll probably watch ever here on YouTube. So here he is, the legend himself. Let's give it up for Kimbo. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. Thank you so much for coming on. It's a real honor. You've been really keeping up with like the Bakugan stuff lately, and it's just really an honor to have you. It's I've seen you around since the very beginning of the Bakugan reboot, and you know I've watched a lot of your like Beyblade videos, and it's just really cool. I remember I watched I remember when I was like. I had like this nostalgia pop or something in my chest. I really wanted the old Beyblade figures in like the Beyblade Burst era, you know.
Yeah.
I think it's Drigger is what you call it. So I searched up videos of Drigger, and immediately I'm like, Kimbo must have probably made videos on this, right? So I turned to your videos, and I'm like, you know what? Let's buy it. So I just bought it.
It's freaking awesome, man. So you're a big Drigger fan, huh?
Yeah, I like the old V-Force series, really. That's what I grew up with, like the plastic model stuff. Yeah. One
really cool thing about, like, Burst, I know everybody's gonna be like, oh, Kimbo's talking about Beyblade and stuff again, but you know, I do both. But, yeah, one cool thing about, like, Burst is that they've done so many remakes. Like, they've done remakes of, like, the Plastic Gen Beige. We're talking about, like, the S series, like, some of the first ones that they had. And then they even did, like, some of the evolutions. So they did, like, the F versions. They did, like, the V versions. They're currently on V2. I think with, like, the latest random booster, because it has, like, 6 bays in it. You don't know what you're pulling until you pull it. But one of the bays you can get is actually a Drigger V2. And I guess it has, like, the full gimmick with it, so you can, like, use the disc with it and switch the mode for it, which is really, really cool. So
that's what I'm kind of interested in. I really miss the old days when, like, I don't know, how long have you been a Beyblade? Ever since the beginning, or?
I mean, I got into it a little bit when I was a kid, so talking about, like, 2004, 2005, I was into it, but during that time period, I was also mainly into like, oh, hey, there's Pokemon cards, and then Yu-Gi-Oh! Was surging and becoming a big thing, so I was a big Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan back then when it first started. Ever since then, they had like the XYZ summons and Synchro summons and stuff, and it got a little too complicated for me to really understand it.
God, I know the feeling.
Like wow, like you gotta sit there, get rid of 3 monsters, sell your house, buy a cat, and then a dog, and then you got a new monster out.
Oh man, I know the feeling. Yu-Gi-Oh! Got crazy. But I really miss the old days of Beyblade when, like, you put it together, right? And then there's this little tool thing you put at the bottom and you twist it around or something. It's like the engine gear or something like that.
Yeah, like the G-Series.
I really missed that, because I didn't know what the purpose of, like, twisting the bottom part was before letting it rip.
Yeah, honestly, the time period, I didn't really either. But now just looking back on it, it's like, okay, you twist them, that's what makes the engine gear go. So in the middle of battle, once it starts slowing down, then you have the gear activating and it gives the Beyblade more stamina. So
is that what that was?
Cool. Yeah, that's basically like what the engine gears did. So when you launched them, when it got later into the battle, it gave them like another boost of energy.
Oh, okay. I didn't understand that when I was a kid. I just thought it just made the Beyblade go faster or something.
Yeah. Don't worry, I thought the same thing, man.
God, when I was a kid, I actually thought Dragoon or Drago was gonna pop out of the Beyblade. So that's how naive as a kid I was.
Hey, we all start that way. Even when like Bakugan was getting started, I kind of thought the same thing. I'm like, it's gonna pop out. Oh wait. it's in the show, but
I mean, it pops.
You know,
out. I mean, it pops out, but it's not going to turn into a really gigantic organic creature.
Yeah.
God, we spent like, I don't know, the first like 5 or so minutes talking about Beyblade. You guys came onto this podcast expecting Kimbo to talk about Bakugan.
In all fairness, I'll talk about both. I'm a fan of both. Heck, I'm a fan of a lot of stuff, like even just video games and stuff too. And we'll probably get to that point at some point. So,
I want to ask you though, what's it like over there in where you live? Because over here it's 30 degrees Celsius, so it's like really hot right now. Here in Winnipeg, I'm wearing this and I'm sweating like crazy. But we're doing this for the podcast. What's it like over there? Is it hot or is it cold? Because I'm just like dying of thirst.
It's not too bad. Also, nice shirt. I see that Bullet Club shirt. You know, wrestling fan. It's sick. It wasn't too bad today. I mean, there's been a few days where it's been like 80s, so it's been like, oh god, it's really, really hot. And New York's just weird. So even going from like winter to spring, in New York, it usually jumps like right from the cold of winter to everything melting for like the better part of like 2 weeks, and then it's just straight into summer. Because like everything gets sucked up and then you see everything growing and such. But yeah, so the last week it's been really nice. The majority of the days have been like low 70s, high 60s, and then there's been a few days where it's been like, oh hey, we're gonna jump up to the 80s. It's gonna be really, really hot out. So yeah, we got like a little variety of everything. Today was actually pretty cool. So it was like high 60s, you know, it was really nice out, but had a nice little breeze with it, so it made a really nice day.
I'm jealous of your breeze. We don't got any breeze. We're humid over here. So I'm just dying here.
I bet it definitely gets that way once like if it's raining big time. Like it'll be a day where it's like, oh hey, we're in the 80s, but then it's just downpouring, so it makes it so humid.
Oh my god, I would kill for like some rain right now, but it's supposed to be raining tomorrow or something. It's the time of this recording. Though at the time of this recording, we're doing this instead of watching SmackDown.
Oh, that's true. That is on right now. Oops. Well,
nobody watches that anyway. We'll catch the replay later.
Yeah, sadly, I'm just like, Roman, you're the champion now, and no, you're not showing up as much.
Showing up, yeah. So it's so wild, but overall, like I know I'm like really late, but like congratulations on 100,000. Finally reached 100K.
I still can't believe like that it even happened for real. I always left that window up there in the corner just as like a metaphorical thing. I legit never thought that I would actually hit 100K. I'm like, there's no way it'll happen. The only one that told me like one of my best friends was like, you're going to hit 100K, dude. You just got to keep it up, and had a few fans come in and say that, like, just keep doing what you're doing and you're going to hit it. Even my mom was like, you're going to hit it before, like, even the summer, before the spring even happens. I'm like, nah, there's no way, because I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm going to hit 100K. I'm going to get to this crazy milestone. I just enjoy what I do. You know, it's about spreading the love and the positivity and everything, because especially with how the world is right now, like, it's so needed, man. And like my family's kind of a military family, mainly my dad, because my dad's a former Marine, so he watches the news every single day. Like I'll go around the house and then at least on one of the TVs there's the news playing, and I'm just like, you know, you just see how wild the world is with everything, because you don't really hear anything good on the news, and that inspires me on the regular just to be like, you know what, there's so much negative going on, we got to spread like some positivity and such. And you know, I just try to do the best. So with my videos and everything, and there's even days where I'm feeling down. I mean, I work my job. I work kind of inconvenience a bit. So making food for people, and then there's points where somebody will cuss you out over a cup of ranch, and you know, you have to deal with those kinds of people every single day. And then you come back home and it's like, man, that was a rough day. But even like just filming and YouTubing helps me get all that tension and stuff out of my system. It's like turning all the negatives into the positives and such. So try to spread the love like through my videos to help other people out there that might be just struggling with whatever they're going on. And it's like I say, even with like my updates and my videos, if somebody comes by my channel for even 1 second and I manage to at least like make them laugh or smirk or even have like a little bit of air come out of their nose, you know, when somebody sees something like I know I did my job, you know, and it's just an honor even having people show up for that long and just watch a video, you know, let alone like this many people coming in on the regular being like, yeah, what's happening? Is this real life right now?
I think one of the things that really attracted me most about your content, you know, as opposed to me, like I prefer to like film it and edit it and like try to make it as presentable as possible and all that, put a lot of time into it. But I think the thing that really pops up to me with your content is it's very homemade. It's very dedicated to being homemade. So it really feels this is not a dig at you. I really don't want you to take this as a shot or something. but it really comes out as homemade. It really connects to us, you know. So I think that's really what I really enjoy about your content. It's like easy. It's simple. It gets straight to the point, and it seems very homemade. That's why I would describe it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's just this is the style that I've gone with, you know. I mean, when I started a decade ago, it literally was just me like, oh, I have like a Bakugan collection a little bit, and I didn't even have a tripod. So some of the first battle videos I even did for Beyblade, I just held my phone between my legs, and that's how I used it as like a tripod. And then even going into like college, going for just years and years of doing it, I didn't even have a tripod then. I had a piece of wood that literally just I balanced my phone on. And then I would have like other things that I'd have stand on, like whether it be like textbooks or just be whatever I could find in like the set room that I was in. That's what I just used for my tripod. It was the most homemade thing ever, you know.
You'll never believe this, but
oh,
sorry. Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Sorry. You'll never believe this, but like one of the earliest episodes of like only the Bakugan the battle videos that we do, the second camera is like literally standed horizontally. It's an iPhone. It's standing horizontally, and it's on a music stand.
That's awesome, man. Hey, it's about just going with what you got. It's been the whole theme, like from the jump and such, and even just showing like, you know, the homemade style, like, you know, there's a lot of people out there that have like big time editing. I know you do your editing and such when it comes to like the news videos that you're doing ahead of time, you know, and that's the style that fits a lot of people. And one thing just kind of wanted to show was just you can even go with like the homemade kind of style and still make it work. It's just about like how you present it, just being yourself, having your own personality and your own way of doing things. And no matter what style you use for it, you can make it work. You know, it's just about like just finding your true style, like just how you do things. And I guess just over time doing it long enough, I just found my style with how I go. I'm just like, okay, I'm very just go with the flow and just on the spot, like, okay, we're going with this. We're going to do this and just have it go this way. Like I'll do like some jump cuts and sometimes I'll edit like intros and outros and stuff with like transitions and stuff. But yeah, for the most part, I just go with like the homemade style with it.
Right, because like at the end of the day, like when it comes to like YouTube content or influencer content, it's really people only care about the personality, right? So they watch you for you. It's not really all about like so much overproduced stuff. Like you're not trying to make a Disney budget $10 million film, right? So. Yeah. So it's really just about the personality is what they care about, and you really symbolize a proof of that because you know you reached out 100K milestone and just being yourself.
Man, 100. Even just being here, like it's surreal. Even like just sitting and talking to you, I'm talking to Haru right now. Like,
dude, I know I'm talking to Kimbo right now.
People are like, yo, I get to talk to Kimbo like he's just this well known and stuff. Like, I'm just a fan like how everybody else. You know, I don't see myself as being big or anything. Like, when I go throughout like regular day-to-day life, my parents are the ones that like gas me up big time. They go and tell like all their friends and people that they know, like, yeah, my son has 100,000 subscribers. And I'm just like, yeah, I guess I do. I'm not gonna sit and brag about it, but I'm like, I play with Beyblades and Bakugan, and I have fun with it because they're awesome.
God, whenever parents post about it, it's at the same time really awesome, but also embarrassing as well.
Yeah,
I know my parent, like I have a cousin in Macau that watches me, and I also have a cousin and my uncle in Calgary that watches me, and my parents always talk about, hey, my son Haru live streams. He's live streaming right now. He has over 3,000 subscribers. He's interviewing the Jason DeLine. He's interviewing other voice actors and doing all these sorts of things on YouTube. I'm like, Mom, please don't bring it up.
I know, like, I just know how to gas you up. At the same time, it's like, oh my god, like, you sit there and just start getting shy and blush, like
don't bring, like, Mom, don't bring it up. At the same time, keep going.
Oh man, you gotta love it.
It's so wild what parents do with like content creators like us. But talking about Bakugan finally.
Yeah.
Talking about Bakugan finally. I want to talk about the very first invitational tournament.
Oh my god.
How was it? How did it feel when Bakugan got rebooted? How did it feel going to the first invitational tournament? I know Simo was there, Negative Legend. I think Team APS was there. Was JoJo there? I don't remember if she was
not for the first one, but everybody else was. Like, it was like Simo, Negative Legend, Billiam, Leon Hart. Like, actually saying, like, I got to sit and talk with Leon Hart. It's crazy. Because back then he was big, but even since then, he's just exploded. Like, everybody who's like into the Pokemon cards and such knows who Leon Hart is.
Yeah,
I know. I didn't watch his content like too much. I see like a couple of his videos. I'm like, this is like, he still puts out really, really epic content. It's amazing, just his energy and everything. But then like realizing it's like, holy crap, this is like the Leon Hart. Even looking back at it now, it's like I was right next to him. Like, he was sitting there talking with I think he was talking with Mike Lee during the first one, and it was just crazy. Even sitting there like filming it, I'm like, I'm filming Leon Hart right now, and just he's talking to Mike Lee. I'm like, this is real life. I'm not watching this on TV. Like, the TV is my eyes right now. Like, this is really happening. But that whole event, it was crazy. So it started like obviously when, you know, it was just rumors like Bakugan's gonna come back. Like, it's on its way back. We're gonna get a reboot. Like, all the rumors about that. And naturally, I was just invested in those rumors because, you know, Bakugan, oh my god, this has been my childhood growing up and it's coming back. Oh, I'm so excited. But then just one day when I was living, like, you know, my old complex, I just get an email and it's from a representative just saying, like, oh, you're invited to the Bakugan Invitational. We're having Bakugan return, celebrate Bakugan's return. And at first I thought it was spam straight up. I'm like, how would they find me, like this kid from the woods, to come out to this event? I don't know. I don't know if I trust it. This might be fishy. But then I message back talking about it, and then they're just like, okay, well, which airport are you flying out of? I was like, like Buffalo. And then I get a message back a few days later, like, okay, like, this is confirmed. This is the date that you fly out and such. You have to arrive at this time. I'm like, okay. I'd only flown one time before that. And it was actually, like, it was called the Battle of the BakuTubers. It was right after I graduated college, like, later on. It was my friend, Nick. Well, he's known as Tajin. That's the nickname he has. But he flew me out there and had this whole event with JoJo, and this was like 2 years before this happened. That was the first time I'd ever flown. So I was kind of used to flying just with that trip. So I go to the airport, I show my ticket and everything, go through security. I didn't fully like start to grasp it until I was on the plane. Then I was like, I'm on a plane right now. I hope I'm not going to like die with this. Like, I'm just getting on a plane with this random ticket that was sent to me. But sure enough, just got on the plane, arrived in LA. I'm like, okay, this is really LA. This is happening. All right. Then I get out. I tried to get an Uber, but then the one Uber driver, like, he couldn't find me. I think we were on like the same level and stuff, but then he just couldn't find me. And then I had to get a hold of one of the representatives, like, I'm kind of stuck here. They were just like, okay, just grab an Uber, we'll take care of it when you get here. I'm like, okay. Because I guess I was one of the last ones that actually got there. So I get in the Uber, And I'm still just processing it. I'm like, I'm here for like a big event, I guess. And
it still did not come.
next thing I
It still did
know,
not come to you, and you reached LA.
we got to the W Hotel, and it's like a really fancy hotel in Beverly Hills. I'm like, this is really Beverly Hills. This is the W Hotel. Like, just seeing all the lights, this really neon light illuminated hotel. I'm like, this is real. What is happening, man? I'm losing my mind in my head at this point. And then I get out and talk
I think you were
to the
getting
reps.
kidnapped or something.
Yeah, I was so nervous. I was like, oh man, this is just the most out-of-the-way thing. But
This has got to be the most expensive kidnapping ever.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, this is a good kidnapping. And then that's where I went upstairs to my room because they told me, like, okay, this is your room key. I'm like, okay. So then I go upstairs, I start filming it and everything. As soon as we got to the hotel, I'm like, okay. Like, just showing it off. I go back downstairs, and that's when I really started filming. And that's where I met, I had met Illinuk before that. So got to see him again. And then that's actually where I met Negative Legend and Billiam. Like, they were both right there. I'm like, dude, what? Because I'd seen some of Negative Legends videos, and I think I saw one of Billiam's videos at that point, and I'm just like, I was starstruck. I'm like, I'm really here with some crazy, well-known YouTubers. This is real. This is real. Holy crap. And then there wasn't even much time to process it because, like, they immediately just had us, like, go to a dinner. So then we're all just sitting there eating dinner. We're on this big old table, and then you got Michael Tillman showing up. Didn't realize, like, exactly who he was at first, but he was just going around showing off the figures and such. He's like, you'll be seeing some of this stuff tomorrow. And I'm like, what's happening? This is surreal. So, you know, after dinner, like, going to bed, waking up, and then the next day, that's when they took us to the headquarters. So, like, it was just like how it was with the second invitational, but this time it was like nobody knew exactly what to expect. Like, with the second one, had a little bit of an idea, so other people seeing it, like, oh my god, this is happening, like, still freaking out, but having a little bit of experience, like, okay, I see, I've seen this before, but the first time it was like a wild goose chase, like, what's going on here? So we ended up on the bus, filmed on the bus, and that's where it really started, like, breaking out that Bakugan was back, because I just did a little vlog on the bus with all of us, and then I see that same day, everybody's freaking out online, like, oh man, like, Kimbo made this video, other people were making videos, Bakugan, it's back. And they're, like, getting footage of this whole event and everything that's going on. And then we get to Spin Master headquarters. They take us right in. It's just huge. Like, Spin Master HQ is massive, man. And then as soon as you open the door, this hallway is so long. Like, there's so many offices and such. It's insane. Like, all the different departments. It was surreal. Like, they show us
that people have to find a bathroom.
Yeah. Real, going in there, it's like you would not know where the bathroom is. It's like, okay, you've got a huge room here, and then you've got, like, this long hallway, and then another huge room over here, and then another huge room over here. But just stepping in there, that was the first time just seeing, like, the characters, like, oh, it's Dan. Like, that's Dan. Like, is he Dan Kouzo? No, he's Dan Kouzo. And then, like, showing off the art for Magnus and Winston. I'm like, there's a dog! There's a dog! I was so happy with, like, Lightning. I was like, they have a dog as a brawler. This just made my entire life. Like, I want the dog. That's the first thing I said. I want Lightning.
We all want a brawling dog.
It was so surreal, man. Just even having the images play back in my head and everything. It's like just really being there. And they showed off, like, all the different cards and stuff on the walls. It was surreal. And it was like that time period where, like, we didn't even understand exactly what was going on here. We're just like, yo, there's a card game with it too? Like, not just bringing back the actual figures, there's a card game. And then they took us all the way down the hallway, and then they took us kind of into their catacombs, I guess to say. And that's where they had, like, the gigantic display. So as soon as I walked in the room, seeing all the legacy Bakugan, they had everything covered. Even, like, some of the figures, they showed, like, Nilius and Drago up front, and then they had, like, the special turning, like, Bakugan figures, like the displays that they had, but they didn't show any of that off at the beginning. We just walked in, and there was just this huge wall of Bakugan. And like, I just go through and start to name them off. I'm like, oh my god, like what? That's Wyvern, dude. That's Limulus, Beast Striker, Helix Dragon. What the hell? And I'm losing my mind. And then it's like he's naming off like all of them right now. Like there's that, that. It was the craziest Bakugan display I'd ever seen in my life. They had at least a good like 300-400 Bakugan just on that display on the back wall, and I was like, this is real.
It was all legacy Bakugan. Like they just kept them like trophies
back, and then that's when they had the presentation, and then they showed off all the new stuff. So then they explained how like they have the reboot, how they were looking at what went successfully with the first era, and then how that translated, into what they're doing now. How they've been working on that for the last few years, and then like the new reboot for it. And then how they're introducing like the TCG, how they have like the Ultra Bakugan and such, like the different designs. And then that's when they started just yanking and showing up the displays on each side. So many products, man. We didn't even like fathom it at that time. Like going and looking back at the video, there were so many prototypes that they had like just sitting on there on the shelves too. It was really, really cool.
It was so cool seeing that video that they posted on the Bakugan official site. Like just watching that video again, I'm like, oh my god, I need to play this again.
Yeah.
And I saw you in that video, and like so much people, and like so many other people as early on. It just got me nostalgic for this, like the first year of the reboot.
Yeah, for sure, man. And then just right after that, that's when they just told us, oh, we're gonna have a little bit of like a tournament. So you're all getting like these Bakugan. So they gave us each like a starter pack. We got to choose like the Bakugan from those packs. And then they gave us like a few cards. They didn't give us those cards until we got back to like the hotel. But they gave us a few of the Bakugan, and immediately I just went over. They had like one of the white boxes, like the display boxes, where they have the white light and everything, where they're taking professional pictures and everything.
Yeah,
they had one
like
of those.
A light box, pretty much.
Yeah, and I had one of the 3-packs, and I'm like, this needs to be unboxed. Like, no, I can't just open this. Like, this needs to be a video, an actual unboxing. And then, sure enough, just filmed it, and I got an Arliss Bakugan with it. I'm like, Arliss, so this is the new faction. Oh my gosh, it's gold. It's so cool. Just hyping up Arliss like crazy. I'm like, all the other factions are back, but the only one that got switched was Subterra, which goes into Arliss. Some people still being mad that like Subterra turned into Arliss, but I still see homage with it because Arliss, like, gold being an earth metal, so it still got the earth kind of theme with it. I see it's just like kind of an evolution. Like it has more of a purpose because Subterra was just kind of there in the first era, but at least with this era, it has like a bigger role with like Arliss because the balance and everything. That's one thing I really did like about it that they did do with it.
Yeah. So what was it like actually to have to like keep silent about being able to go? Because I know that they didn't want it announced or leaked out until like the actual official launch of it.
Yeah, it was tough. So like there was some stuff that we were able to like kind of show off. Like I even asked, I did unboxings on these figures. Am I allowed to put them out? They said, yeah, you're allowed to put those out. So there's like certain things like the figures that we got, because it's not like we showed off every single figure that was coming out or anything, but just the big time detailed videos we had to hold off of putting out for like a little bit of time. That way they could like market it and show off stuff, and then afterwards we can get all of our videos out. Right. So it's like, okay, that's fine. I'm just flattered to even be here, like that.
Yeah, did it kill you inside though to like not being able to like talk about it? You knew all this stuff and you just can't tell your fans like, guys, Bakugan's back. You just cannot say because of like NDAs.
It definitely did a bit, like just being like, oh, I can't talk about this yet. It wasn't until like after the actual like invitational ended to where we could put out like everything that we had, because then by that point they had gotten like all the footage and stuff they needed, like seeing us all in the room with when they were explaining everything with the first season, and then everything with the invitational. By that point they had all their footage, so they're like, okay, you can start putting out stuff. But yeah, it was definitely tough, not just cracking and just fully just going ballistic and being like, "Oh, Bakugan, there's this."
I know for sure if I was there, I'd probably go ballistic and just like rat out every single thing, every detail that's like being shown to us.
Yeah. Oh man, it's just even just thinking back, it was such a crazy event because you just had so many big channels because they literally went across the whole realm of YouTube just to find people for like Bakugan, like to promote it. You know, like they went through Yu-Gi-Oh, they went to Pokemon, they went to the Beyblade side of things with me and Illinook. Like it was crazy.
I like that they
at
covered
first,
like pretty much everybody, like toys and cards. That's pretty much what I went through. What I was talking about when I keep talking about like Spin Master and Bakugan's like marketing strategy. They covered every influencer, like from toys to like card games like Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon and all that, and try to expand it to like other fans to try to get them involved in Bakugan. You know?
Yeah. It was crazy too because I remember like getting invited, getting the email. And I guess they had like a couple people that weren't able to make it. They were trying to fill those spots. And they just straight up asked me, is there anybody that you know that would be like really interested in this? And I immediately just thought of Illinook because he was a big time fan of Bakugan. He was younger too. Like he does Beyblade content, but he really enjoyed Bakugan too. And I'm like, yeah, Illinook. He makes really, really awesome content. And I know like it'll be another person for like the Beyblade side of things, you know, that you can get at this event. And then that's when they hit up Illinook and had him come with it. So
it's because of you that Illinook got Baku Master.
I mean, technically, I'm not going to sit there and take like crazy credit for it or anything, but like, I was like, yeah, he's a big time fan, and it would be amazing like if you invite him out here because I feel like he would just go ballistic with this too for sure. And sure enough, he did. He loved going to the event. And I mean, with the actual tournament, he ended up going to the final. He got past me even, you know, he beat me.
Yeah, I remember he was second place.
Yeah, he won our bracket. It was like both years it was that way because like Illinook beat me the first year and then he made it to the final. And then the second year, Firelina made it to the final, but she beat me for that. And it's like whoever I faced made it all the way to the very end, so that was really, really cool. But yeah, the first year he won at least the first bracket, and then he went down to SEMO, and you know SEMO won it overall, but he still got like a big time trophy with it. And the crazy part is, like my Letterman that I have right here, I only have that because of Illinook. Like he came up to me and he's like, "Well, it was after the actual tournament and everything ended." And he came up to me, he's like, well, it's really warm in Texas, and I don't really, like, need, like, a big-time jacket or anything, so I was wondering, like, do you want the Letterman? And I was like, you're giving me, like, the Letterman jacket? I cried. I kid you, when I said I cried, I legit cried. I was like, you're giving me this jacket, dude.
Dude, that was awesome.
Like, yeah, it's no big. And then I just went and told like some of the reps, and they're like, "Oh, that's really sweet. Oh, that got me fired up." Like a lot of the reps were getting fired up and such about it. But that's what led to like 3 of them being made. So, you know, SEMO got his because he won it overall, and then Illinook got his as well because he won the one bracket. And then I got one because like Illinook gave me his, so they actually made 3. And I cherish this thing big time. That's why the second invitational, I wore this there, like Anime Expo. I wore it there, even with it being hot. I'm like, I gotta bring it. I gotta wear it. And now I just got it like sitting on the display. I don't know if I would wear it again, honestly, because it's just such a gem to me. I'm like, it's got to be sitting there.
If you could relive that entire event again, would you?
I would. Like, even if I had to just sit there and like watch myself do it, I definitely would, because it's just still, even to this day, like one of the most mind blowing things I've ever been a part of my life. Like, that whole time period was crazy because it was like from end 2018 and then 2019 was when the reboot started, and then like Anime Expo happened. I grinded big time to save up for a plane ticket to go out, and you know that's when M Stubbs, Mako, myself, we all stayed in the BNB, and then we were just going each day and getting stuff, and you know going to the Bakugan booth. It was crazy too because they were basically like, if you could find a way out here, we'll get you in. So like, you see this line that's like miles long, just getting in, because you know it's Anime Expo. It's one of the biggest anime conventions in the world, and you see a line that's like 2 miles long, and we just look around for a rep. We find the rep, and they get us like VIP passes. So we go through like the back area through security and stuff. I'm like, what is this, dude? Like just going through, and it's like quick security too. Like, here's your bag. Okay, you're good to go. And then we just went right in to the booth, and we got in there. They let us in like about like 10 minutes before they actually opened it. So by the time we get in there, it's completely dead. Like, you just have all the reps and such at each booth, and we were at the Bakugan booth, and we just marked out. We marked out as soon as we saw the wall, because you see this huge display, and then you have like all the small little like the arena setups, you know, for like the new brawlers that want to come in and learn how to play the game, and then all the tables for everybody who wanted to actually brawl. And just all the figures, even like they had resurgence packs. They had like Wave 5 at the time. You know, you reported out like Wave 5 coming out.
Yeah,
that was the time when they had all the Wave 5 stuff just sitting in that booth. And immediately we're looking like, oh, I need this, I need this, I need this. But they told us, okay, you just gotta wait until we fully open. I'm like, it's all good. So I waited patiently. As soon as it hit like 10 o'clock on the dot, they're like, okay, we're open. You see everybody starting to come in. All three of us just like, oh my god, okay.
Let's get some! Get some before they're sold out!
Oh, it was crazy, man. The crazy thing with that was like Serpentine. So there was a diamond Serpentine that they put up on the display. I grabbed it at the same time a lady grabbed it, but then it like slipped through my fingers and she got it. And I was like, hey, congratulations on getting the diamond. You know, I'm not going to be a sex worker. I'm like, hey, like, more power to you. I'm glad that you got it. But all 3 days I was sitting there trying to get a diamond Serpentine. So I, just being the crazy collector that I was, I grinded big time. So I had enough money going out there, and I was just getting stuff every single day. I'm like, what's up there? Okay, I'm going to get this, sitting there reviewing it. There's a lot of people there, apparently, like, hearing it afterwards. A lot of people that were like, I really wanted to talk to you, Kimbo. You just looked like you were really busy and such, and I didn't want to, like, interrupt you or anything. I'm like, oh, no, you're not interrupting. I was just grabbing a bunch of Bakugan and literally doing unboxing after unboxing after unboxing, just so I could fit it even in the bags that I had. Because, you know, having to have the flight on the way home, I'm like, I got to make sure I fit everything with this. It was kind of how it was with even the first Invitational. After that ended, they had a bunch of products that they just didn't know what to do. And they gave me like a bunch of products. They're like, hey, you can have this and this and this. And I'm like, what? So I'm just sitting there doing a bunch of unboxings. Even when they closed down, like, I think I had one of the later flights, because I wanted my flight to be a little later so I could just go and enjoy like California a little bit, and my flight wasn't until later on. Well, I was literally sitting in the headquarters filming until my battery died. I brought a power bank with me. I had to charge up my battery a little bit more, had a few more things, used my power bank, and then just went outside and kept unboxing more and more stuff, just so I could fit it all in my bag. It was ridiculous, man. So that's how I was able to do all like those unboxings after the first Invitational, because they were just giving me a bunch of stuff. And then even at Anime Expo, it's like the same format. Like, I just was getting everything, unboxing everything that I could while I was there, had my power bank. I must have gone through like my battery at least like 2-3 times from just filming so much, because it was like make the video, edit it, and then, you know, of course, have it like register and everything, you know, so there's no issues with the audio, all goes to, you know how it goes with editing. And then just putting out all the videos and scheduling them all to go out. Meanwhile, just sitting there at Anime Expo doing all this. So, per usual, just cranking like normal, because I'm like, I didn't never take it for granted going to any of these events. I'm like, there's a lot of people that are sitting and watching, and I do this like on behalf of a lot of people that would dream of being here. That's why I got like the Percy's tattoo. So like wherever I go, you guys are with me. That's why I'm never changing my channel logo. You know. So it's like even with the events, just having that Percy's little, like, I always carry you guys on my sleeve in my heart, and I make sure you see like everything that you could possibly see with it. So getting every product I possibly could, and just reviewing it, unboxing it, so you could see the stats and everything. Even getting some of the card packs, so you could see like the cards that were in there. You know, because it's like, this is a lot of stuff that's coming out. It's like game changing. This is around the time when we got like Titan Hydronoid Ultra, Arliss Titan Hydronoid Ultra, and Titan Drago was around the same time too. It was just you remember those days, man? It's crazy to think about it.
When regarding your tats, you're like pretty inked up, huh? I've always thought about like getting tattoos myself, but like I never got into it because like I can probably never stand the pain because I think like they do the needle stuff. So I'm like, you know what? No, I don't think I could do that because like my brother-in-law has like so much tattoos. He has tattoos on his chest, like both his arms, his like leg and all that, and I'm just like, damn, man, how could you like stand that? Because I just thought about getting like a full sleeve tattoo or something like that. I thought that would be cool, and I'm like, you know what? I don't think the pain would be worth it.
Yeah, it's actually not too bad. Like around the time of that invitational, like the first invitational, oh my god, that was around the time when I just started getting tattoos too. It was like 2018 when it was my 23rd birthday. I didn't have a single tattoo. It was like Labor Day, and then right before, it was probably like a month before the invitational. That's when I got this one from my brother that passed away, you know. But I got like these two tats, and those are the only ones that I had at the time period. So, since then I've gotten like full sleeves basically on both arms, you know. But it's actually not too bad. It depends on like where you get the tattoo at, because there's just like certain points, you know, that you really feel like the pain for it. Like the main places would be like probably like knees, ribs, like on the feet, like around the elbow. Those are like the notorious places that are like, oh, those aren't too fun. They don't tickle too much. But yeah, one of my best friends has like so many tattoos.
The funny has like right, so. The reason why the knees and the elbows and stuff are like the most sensitive because our funny bones are like here.
Yeah, and it's like really close. There's not much meat right there, so it's just like, oh, hey, that's real fun. Like one of my best friends, he's all tatted up. Like he makes me look like nothing. He's got like both of his arms tattooed. He's got he's got like a chest piece. I actually saw him today. Like I went and got my hair cut, and he works at a shoe place, and I went and saw him. He just got like a big piece done on his leg, like even around like his shin. He's like the shin, that part wasn't like too fun because not being too much meat right there. But he's crazy. He's gotten like tattoos around his arm, even on like the inside. Like I've never gotten like the ditch part right there done because I'm like, oh, I don't think that'll be fun. So I've gotten like the tattoos around it, like even like inner arm. I'd say the worst ones for me probably like I've only got my arms done. But inside arm and like right there, because it's like you got the bone right there. So I got like the Oratola symbol right there. Yeah. But that was really fun. Like into that second part of that, I'm like, oh yeah, I feel that. That was real fun.
Which one of your tattoos is like your most favorite or most meaningful?
Oh, it's so tough to say. I don't even know if I have like a full favorite. If anything, probably this one, just because how deep it goes, and then also this one here because I actually drew this. I went to college for like studio art and graphic design, and when I was in college, my brother unfortunately passed away. Like he wasn't my blood brother, but he was basically my brother growing up. But I'd say probably this one because. Just the meaning with like the channel and everything and spreading the love and the positivity and carrying you guys on my shoulder and my sleeve wherever I go. That's why like whatever I do it with my heart, and I'm not just thinking like, oh, I get to experience this. I'm like, I try to act like a camera myself, so that way like people can try to experience all these things through my eyes even. That's why I just film like a crazy amount. So you go back and see all these videos and such, and it's like I'm taking you guys there with me with all the events that have gone on, even with like I do my own skit series, like how the show is for Beyblade. I incorporate everything to that, even like the invitationals and stuff. Like I filmed like little clips while waiting in the lobby.
I think that's a really great concept to like follow for content. Makes us engaged more. Oh
yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, but I mean, getting into all the time, it's so tough to say like which one would be my favorite. It's like the most meaning because every single one has like major meaning. Like no matter the conditions and such, I used to just get stronger. So I got like legendary bladers from Metal Fight. tatted around my arm. And then I did my skit series, and one of the main characters I had for it was it's a baby called Jade Bull, and I basically like had Bull represent me and such. So even there was some times where I was like having breakdowns, and I was filming. Like I filmed everything. Like there's points where I had breakdowns late at night, and I would film that. And then there's a moment in my skits where like he just suffered like a bad loss, and he's sitting there like, I'm trying to just get stronger no matter what, and it feels like nothing's working. Like, what more do I have to do? Everybody else is getting so much stronger because I had, like, all the other things around him evolving, and then they're getting strong to the point where he was getting wild in battles, you know. And clearly there's a difference with the power and stuff. But, yeah, I mean, I'm a guy that just lets it out, like, through, I guess, YouTubing and whatever I do.
It's like your way of expressing yourself, right?
Yeah,
I think that's like
because even like just how life is, like, sometimes you just gotta, you know, you just find that thing where it's like I know how to really convey and express myself, you know. Rather do that than sit there like, oh hey, having a bad day, unleash it on somebody or anything. Like I don't care how bad of a day I have or such, because you know, especially working sometimes in like food and convenience, it gets so stressful. Like the other day, I know it's a little personal thing, but like I said, I work in like food convenience, so sitting there making a lot of food on the regular. There's it's usually only like 2 people that are in the store, so you have one person up like by the register, and then you have another person in the deli. And you know how it goes with weekends. Everybody going out like wanting to party or drink or something, or enjoy their weekends or get food. So then you have everybody calling nonstop, like order after order after order after order after order, and you only have 2 ovens, and then you get backed up with like 10 orders, and then you're sitting there just stressed out. There's points where you're like, why do I do this anymore? I want to kick the bucket. I want to quit, man. Like some days I get like a 30-minute break, and then I just sit on that break. The majority of the time I go out back and sit behind the store because there's like a really nice view. I put some of the pictures on like, you know, Instagram of it, but like there's like a field, and you see like kind of the trees looking like mountains in the background, and the sunsets are really, really pretty. But I just sit back there. I meditate and just think about life big time, especially like with the days where it gets really tough. Because, you know, like a couple of days ago, in a span of 15 minutes, I had like 12 subs I had to make, and I was like even being experienced with it, I was like stressed out. I'm like, this is a lot of food, because sometimes everybody will order at one time. It'll be like, oh, okay, like you get one order, and also people can get, you know, we're in the era of mobile orders, like online orders, so you can have it where somebody just gets on their phone and orders a big order. So you got like 2 subs, and then you have to sit there and ring out people up front too because your coworker's on break. But then meanwhile during that you get like 6 more subs in one order, and then 3 more subs, and then some pizzas, and then some fried food, and then it's like, oh god, I gotta sit and try to take care of all of this being one person, and it gets definitely stressful. It's like, oh my god, this is happening. But you know, even with those days where like I come home exhausted and just have a bad day like that, I just film. That's one of the big things I do when I come home. I film, I game. Usually I'll come home and I'll just be exhausted because I usually work like the second shift, so I'll get home on average like 11 o'clock, sometimes midnight, sometimes even later. You know, and then I'll fall asleep like 2 in the morning because I might be like tired. Sometimes I'll stay up to like 3 or 4 because I'm like, I gotta sit and I gotta film and get these things done. And then I'll just pass out after that. But that's how I just let out all of like the negative energy and such from like a tough day or such like that. That's how I really let it out, was just making the videos and everything. And that's probably one of the reasons why I crank as much as I do, because it's just like all that pent up just emotion and everything. That's my like healthy way of letting it out, you know.
Have you ever felt like you go through all of that, and now all of a sudden you have this milestone, you reach 100,000 subscribers? Do you ever have the feeling, you know what, this is all worth it?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like it gets to that point, like especially, you know, hitting that right before like 10 years. So a lot of people, you know, you hear like, oh, I'm not growing or anything like that. It's just keep doing what you're doing. Like the main thing is just don't focus on the numbers, you know, just enjoy what you do. Just have fun with what you're doing, and it'll pay off. Like I said, it's like I'm honored to be at this point. It also took a full decade because I started my channel back in April of 2012. I was a senior, like a junior going in my senior year at high school, and that's when I started. And it started as a small thing. And over time, I was like, I'd love to do this like fully. It's just got to get the support for it, but just not giving up. So, you know, I hear on the regular, like, oh, you get so-and-so views or something per videos and stuff, and it's like, I don't focus on, like, the numbers of the views or anything. I'm honored that even hits one, because it's the whole thing going back to it, like, just spread the love and the good vibes and the positivity and such, even if it's one person stopping in, like, sitting there and seeing even, like, 100 people watching one video or such, and some videos, of course, just blowing up into, like, the thousands. It's like, this is surreal. Like, this has reached this many people.
Yeah.
You know, it's an honor for sure. Like, even just seeing, like, 10 people watching a single video, I still flip out at that. I'm like, oh my gosh. Or, like, seeing people comment first. I don't know. The first comments always make me laugh. Like, it's just like,
it doesn't annoy you like it does a lot of people.
No, it doesn't annoy me at all. I always just sit and I laugh. I'm like, that's awesome, man. Someone being so like, I'm the first one here.
For me, it's like 50-50. Like, I see a first comment, I'm like, I'm like, can you at least watch the video? Like,
yeah.
Before you,
I definitely get that.
But at the same time, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, you know what? It's the comment section's open, so it's whatever. As long as you're not commenting like racist stuff or anything like that, I don't care.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Like, yeah, just seeing like the first comments, they definitely make me laugh. There's points where it's like, okay, did you like you see somebody comment like good video, and then the video is like 10 minutes, but it's only been like 10 seconds that it's been out. And it's like, I know you didn't watch it, but, you know, it's all good. Even that they stop by for that 1 second, even comment, like, great video. Like, I see that as, like, an amazing thing. Like, they took the time out of their day to even sit and just watch me being a goof, you know?
You know, what was your, in your position, what was your experience with, like, hate comments? You don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but, like...
Oh, no, it's all good.
I don't want to pry you.
Oh no, you're good, man. I just love getting like the different comments and stuff like this, you know, like the different questions. But when it comes to just hate comments, you know, you get the usual like, oh, like, aren't you too old for this? Like, why do you keep doing this? Like, you
yes!
too old for
Oh my god!
Thing. Like, why you sit here playing with toys? Like, just play with spin tops. You get a job or do something like that. Instead of just sitting here, like, etc., or, like, you know, you don't have, like, the craziest editing with your videos, oh, you should up your camera quality or something like that. Even with, like, the stadium I use, people will say, like, oh, like, why do you use, like, one stadium or it's dirty or something like that? Like, I use the one stadium because I do a lot of test battles when it comes to Beyblade, and I've done so many to the point where this stadium that I use for my standard videos, it's held together by tape at this point, but it's held down the fort for 4 years, and even when I got it 4 years ago, it was already used then, and it's still hanging in there. But I'm one that likes to, you know, I like to make different kind of scenarios and stuff. So with all the stadiums and stuff that have come out for Beyblade, I put them off to the side because the main way I show my stadiums off is like through my skit series. It's what makes it stand out. And I try to go through every single kind of stadium. And especially with how Burst has been, it's so different on like the Hasbro and Takara Tomy side of things because they're different approaches to the actual game itself.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different diverse stadiums. So I've kept them all on the side just waiting for like my skit series because, you know, having all the bays I collected, I showcase all of them. Like, no bay left behind is my phrase, and, like, none of them don't go unshown. Like, even with my Metal Fight Beyblades, like, leading up to my collection video, it's like the video that I have featured on my channel with, like, 700 bays. That was, like, 9 years in the making, even, like, that video right there, because showing off, like, my Metal Fight collection, and then showing off my whole skit collection, because my skit Beyblades are all custom combos that people even made. Like, I incorporated people's combos. There's this thing called like custom Beyblade tournaments. So everybody comments like certain parts that they choose out of the ones that you have, and then you make the combos for them. They all face off in the tournament, and then the winner gets like a big time prize. And I usually have that as like a special giveaway thing. But with that, all the bays are stock, so everybody who even enters it got put into like my skit series. So they became like a character in the series, so they become a part of it themselves, you know, with their bay being involved with everything that was going on and such. And I plan on doing the same thing with Burst. I got like spare parts on the side, even prepared for the next one. I'm thinking like sometime maybe July I'll do that. But I just love incorporating like everyone else with the story as well. It's not just like, oh, hey, it's a story that I make. It's also giving other people their roses, whether it's like characters from the show because they end the show in a bad way, or like other bladers out there with their combos, so that way they get their roses, they get to be a part of it and such,
Overall, it's really just comes down to like you just keep being yourself, don't matter what other people say about you,
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, just be you, no matter what you do. There's always going to be somebody that's going to sit there and just talk some smack. So it's like, why just stress about it? Just be you. If you get people that are like that, then you're doing something right because you're just being yourself. And that's all you can be, and just
as long as it's like not hurtful to like anybody, it doesn't like cause anybody like kind of harm or anything.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, for you, just for us, it's just playing with children's toys.
Yeah. Definitely. But yeah, just be yourself. It's like people can believe whatever they want to believe as long as they're not like hurting anybody, spreading anything that's like really hateful or such, But you always get trolls, you always get haters and such. And like no matter who you are, that's why just do what you like doing, and just don't hurt anybody with it, obviously.
This is something that I really like about like the Bakugan community that we have. It seems like a camaraderie, It seems like a brotherhood. It seems like a large family, We got like other Baku masters that are like really down to earth and really easily approachable. Jet Kouzo, we got Briar, and it seems like that. The thing I really like about the Bakugan community, it doesn't seem like we're in competition with each other, Like it doesn't matter if some person has like 1 subscriber or another person has like 3,000 or 100,000 or something like that. At the end of the day, we all want to like lift Bakugan up, and we all have the same goal, right? That's why I always like to. That's why I always like to like spotlight a lot of other BakuTubers in my like videos and also my live streams. I showed off HM Warrior, Pyrus Knight, and like so many other small BakuTubers that probably wouldn't have gotten noticed if people hadn't checked out their stuff, right? But nowadays, like guys like you that are shouting out like Orless Jacobs and like all of them. It's really nice to be part of that community. Is this something that you experienced like in other communities as well with all the stuff that you been in?
Yeah. I mean, naturally, there's points where like, oh, things get competitive, etc., just being competitive games like Bakugan or Beyblade and such. But I've always just been that person. It's like, it's about uplifting and such too. Like, it's not just like, oh, hey, I'm sitting and I'm eating or something. Like, I want to make sure like other people are eating as well and get that recognition because they put in that work like big time. It's not just me like promoting stuff, and whether it's Beyblade or Bakugan or anything, and everybody has their choices of like, oh, hey, like I like this BakuTuber, this BakuTuber, this BakuTuber, this BakuTuber, and everybody has their own views, and that's perfectly fine. I was like, it's just about like building up, because in the long run, it really brings the focus to like both communities, whether it's Beyblade or Bakugan, seeing these people just doing this well, and like exceeding and succeeding with this.
A lot of the times that people I've shouted out, they do like really interesting stuff. Like their work is like really good, and sometimes I go like, how come this guy only has like 100 subs or 100 views or something?
Yeah, exactly. It's like they deserve way more recognition and such, and that's why like, even if somebody sends me a certain thing, the craziest part is like even just buying some products online, because just keeping up with things. You have some people that like I message and they're like, wait, Kimbo, is this the Kimbo? I'm like, you know who I am? Like, holy good, you know who I am? Even? They're like, yeah, dude, I watch you on the regular. Oh my god, what? And I'm like, I'm honored. Like, that's why I ask, like, whenever I get something, I'm usually just like, you should put in a note with it. That way I can show it off in the actual video, give you a big time shout out, and also like put it on the wall, because I never forget like anything with this. Let's see if I can show it off. I gotta do it. I gotta do the front cam. I can figure out how to do the front cam like a cool kid.
I don't know if you can switch the camera on this app, though.
Probably not.
Yeah, I don't think you can switch I don't think you can switch camera in the middle of it. Oh yeah, there you go. Okay, so Kimbo's showing off his wall. Or walls.
like humbly, like this is just the support of everybody, man. It's crazy even having like some of this stuff, like Baku Blade Legacy's card. Lord Kubo signed that one. Like Julius and Devin signed that one. It's a little messy.
Wow.
There, just
right, Julius and Devin were in the second year invitational.
Yeah. Well, you got a note from D Hart. I got a sticker from Fusions. Got a picture from Illinois. Even just fan art and stuff, dude. Like, it's crazy. I have this like hanging overhead in this spot because like it just reminds you, you know. It's like all these people are out there and like even supporting, even if they sent like a note or something. Like, I don't take that for granted at all. I'm like, this is going as a part of like the actual design of things. So whenever I do feel down or things get tough, like I immediately just look at the wall and I just get chills, man. Like even walking in here, I just get like crazy chilling vibes.
That is so awesome. I sometimes even there's some people that like send me like love email or something like that, and they're like, "Hey, I watch your news videos and they're really great. Keep up the good work." I'm like, "Thank you so much." And I even got like I remember there was one person that lives in the UK, I think, or something. I got an email from them. They said that their son really likes my my videos, and I'm like, oh, thank you so much. Tell your son thank you. And I'm like, and they're like, they're like, my son's birthday is coming up, and I'm like, oh wow, here's a. I want to give your son a birthday present. I'll send a message telling him thank you and stuff. So I record a video message, and he says that, and I think I might have made his son's day or something like that. And I'm like, damn, that feels so good to do.
Yeah, man, you probably made his whole year with that, even.
That was like, so good to do. That was so cool to do. I never thought that anybody would actually like want a video message from me telling them happy birthday or something like that.
Right.
It really
puts
a lot of things in perspective.
Yeah, it's crazy, especially when things like that happen. Like how I talked about how I went on a lot of trips in 2019, like before the second invitational. Between like the first and the second invitationals, 2019, that summer in general was wild because Anime Expo. A couple weeks before that, I was at the Blader Bash down in Texas, and then I went out to EST Fest because I'm a big fan of Machine Gun Kelly. But with the Blader Bash, like being down in Texas, I didn't think anybody was gonna know because it was an event held by Blast Zone Kid. Illinois was there as well. Bolto MS was there. They were all like way bigger than I was, and I was just like, even if one person knows me, that'd be crazy. You know, so naturally, like everybody's like Blast Zone Kid or it's Illinois or Bolto. There's a few people that actually knew me there though, and that alone. Like, even that a couple kids came up, like, you're Kimbo, aren't you? I'm like, yeah, I am. And then that was around the time I had the cards, too. So I'm sitting there handing out cards to everybody at the event. It was expected to have, like, maybe, like, a couple hundred people. That turned into, like, over 1,000 people that showed up. And I was like, oh, my God. Like, do you see the line just wrapping around the entire stadium? I'm like, this is surreal. Like, if you ever look at my profile picture on Instagram, it's myself, Illinois, and Bolto. It was in the middle of that stadium after the event. And I'm like, that's always going to be that picture. Because just that moment itself was crazy. There was a point where everybody was down there battling. They had like a whole preliminary area set up. So like practice battles you can do. They had the actual area for the tournament. And then just like a huge line of people around too. And we're just sitting up there up in the bleachers, just looking down and enjoying everything, just filming it and such. And there's one kid that sees us. He runs up the stairs all the way up the bleachers and sees us, and he's like, "Can I get your autographs?" Like literally on his case. And I'm like, "What?" Like for real? I had a few like Sharpies, and I just gave them to like Illinois and Bolto, and they were signing like a bunch of autographs and stuff, and then that one kid turned into like 2 kids, which turned into 5 kids, which turned into 10 kids, which turned into like a huge line of kids with their parents. Literally just a line of them just coming up just to like talk with us. And I'm like, what is happening, dude? We were just sitting up here just chilling, looking down, and then one person sees us and it turns into like...
Should have set up a booth or something.
Like it was surreal. I'm like,
you felt like you must have felt like a wrestler signing autographs. Like at
a little bit. I was like, people actually want me to sign something. Okay, like I had kids asking for me to like sign their headphones, sign their phone cases. I'm like, what is happening? I think I signed a few Beyblades. I'm like, I'm trying to sign it that way, like it doesn't come off or anything. But
they're like, it's fine. I bet you for those Beyblades, those kids are never going to stop playing with those ones.
Oh yeah,
never going to change anything about them.
Yeah, there was one kid. Well, at least his family. He actually had a Bay Club at home, like how there's a Bay Club in the show. He had a Bay Club at school, and they asked me if I could like make a little message for him, and I'm like, yeah, sure, of course. So I recorded it on their phone. Apparently, he took it to school like the very next day and showed all the kids, and they just lost their minds.
Oh my god!
Oh, and then he actually like sent me a video back, and I made sure to like put it in the actual like from the event. I got that clip, and I'm like, I'm gonna showcase this message that he sent me because it meant a lot. Even that he sent the message back, like, oh, damn, my club enjoyed seeing your video and everything, and it was amazing. It was,
dude. If that happened to me, I think that would make my whole life.
I definitely cried. I'll say that. I definitely cried. I'm like, this is real. Like, I just made this kid's whole week, like maybe even his whole like month or year with that happening, and just I'm tearing up just even thinking about it, man. Holy crap.
Bro,
like,
that's so awesome. That's how you know you made it. You know, I kind of want Bakugan to have some event like that.
Oh, definitely. I miss the events, man. Like Anime Expo and such. Those times were amazing, dude.
Yeah.
It was so fun to do it.
I'm so sad I couldn't make it down. The only time I ever been to LA was with my girlfriend, and we were on a vacation. That was like the only time I went to LA. Otherwise, I have not been to LA for like invitationals or anything. Despite what people are saying, I was never at an invitational. So stop with the rumors.
Yeah, which is sad. You definitely should have been in it more. Like, even just, I'm sad that everything went down the way it did, because just how the events were, like, pre-Cubbo. I'll say Cubbo. But yeah, everything like pre-Cubbo. Oh.
We could say COVID. They're easy on the COVID stuff now.
My mom just came in. She just got back, and I bought a tech deck because I played with tech deck. She just brought it in.
Hi, Mom.
Well, yeah, man. Like, even just going to the events, it's like, it's life-changing stuff. Like, even just sitting and filming, even when I get down, I just think of those crazy moments, like going to those types of events, and just how many days were made, how many smiles there were and such. Even just kids coming up and talking to me or talking to other people, you know, it's surreal when you think about it. It's like, you just made this kid, you could have changed this kid's whole entire life just even with this like 5-second moment that you interact. They never forget that.
That's what this is all about, right? This is why we do this stuff, you know. Yeah, that's such an awesome feeling. Even like for my videos, even if one kid watched my videos and decided to pick up a Bakugan because of me, I'm like, yep, that's worth it. I don't care if this video gets like 1 view, 1,000 views, or 10,000 views, or anything. I'm like, if I managed to get someone to go out and buy a Bakugan, and you know what, this is worth it. It's or go out and watch the show, or you know, do anything that like helps the Bakugan brand grow. Like, that was worth it.
Yeah, exactly, man. It's about just spreading the love and the good vibes and the positivity and everything. Support BakuTubers, support Bakugan, support everyone.
Yeah, exactly. That and you know what? I think that's a really good message to like leave off on this podcast. And you know, very great. It's a very great community that we've managed to build in Bakugan, and it's like it's really great guys like you and Jet, Ilonuk, and so many other people, Pyrus Queen, Kali Nova, like Ruby Dragonoid, Greg,
Yeah, man.
Briar.
So many legends, so many legends, dude.
There's so much of us that deserve all the attention that we can give them, you know. So all of you guys like listening or watching this podcast, you know, check them out. They do some great stuff.
Also, like other channels, like, you know, Fusions, like D Hart puts in that work, man. He makes like top 15 like Bakugan videos and everything. He keeps up with all the latest waves. Like, it's so good. And I'm like, why is this man not for? There's so many people in the community. I'm like, why are they not further getting recognized more? Yeah, Viva La Hunt as well.
I know, like he does like the Scummy Awards. I think those are funny. Yeah. but there's like Viva La Hunt. Kodok does like amazing stuff. It's so awesome. Like, there's so much talented creators in this community that still hasn't been spotlighted, and that people should know more about. And how important do you feel like how important or how much of a responsibility do you feel like using your platform to be able to highlight more creators like this?
Oh, like completely, man. Like, even just hearing how many people are, like, even yourself included, like, honored that are like, I've seen your content, and without your content, there would be like no this. Like, I want to start my channel or anything. I'm like, that's surreal, man. Because it's like, I look at so many different creators. I'm like, y'all are my friends. Y'all are my idols too, man. Like,
thanks so much.
Even being like smaller channels and stuff, it's like, screw the numbers. Like, you see people putting out like this awesome content on the regular, it inspires you to just keep cranking and going. Because it's so awesome, man. Just the diversity, even with like each community, with like the creators and the styles and the content they put out, man. It's like a huge melting pot, you know? And everybody adds something to the overall picture. And it's just, so many of those things need to be focused on more, you know? Like, so many other creators deserve to get their roses and get their attention and such, because they just add so much.
Yeah, it's like, at the end of the day, you know, all of us have the same goal. We just want Bakugan to grow and last forever, you know?
Yeah, man, for sure. I'm hoping I know it's not confirmed. I'm hoping we get a 5th season, because like,
we are getting a 5th season.
Sweet.
Telling you right now. I didn't mention this before my last live, but we are getting a 5th season. According to the Spin Master reports, they're making at least like 2 more seasons. Like the last quarter report, they're making 2 more seasons. Like, the goal is to make more Bakugan seasons. And there was also a news article that came out recently that YTV has ordered more Bakugan. So 5th season is currently in production and being animated. There's the voice actors are all just waiting for their recording sessions, you know, to go in and actually record stuff. So 5th season's on the way.
Yes, I'm so hyped, because just seeing how like Beyblade's got, because doing both, you know, Beyblade and Bakugan, you can see like some comparisons with even how it is, because the first seasons of Beyblade, like the Plastic Gen only had 3 seasons. The Metal Fight Beyblade had 4 seasons, which the 4th one was kind of an aftermath of things that happened. You know, so it's like, after the Nemesis crisis and everything that happened with that, you know, just showing the world rebuild. And they kind of left it on a cliffhanger, but it still wasn't bad, the fact they made a 4th season. Originally it was thought like Beyblade with Burst, it's going to get 4 seasons. Then it ended up getting 6 with the show, and now being on the 7th for the actual figures. Like,
I still have not watched past Metal Fusion's 1st season.
The Metal Saga was good, man. I definitely recommend. Like, just the overall build up to everything going crazy. It's wild.
I really gotta get back into watching Beyblade. I still rewatch the 1st season of Beyblade, you know, the original series, V-Force, G-Revolution. I still rewatch those, because those were classic. I remember years ago I met Ray's voice actor, actually. Then I think,
Really?
yeah, that was when I was a kid. I was on a trip in Toronto, and I recognized him because I recognized him. I just didn't remember his name, but like I recognized him because I saw him do a promotional episode of Beyblade or something. He was like covering a Bakugan or not Bakugan Beyblade event. That Beyblade event showed off the Beyblade trading card game, and there was a tournament or something like that.
Mhm.
But I recognized him. I recognized his face, and I said, "Hi, you're that guy that voices that is Ray, right?" And he's like, "Yeah."
Mhm. That's really cool though. The crazy part is even like watching some shows throughout the years, and you can pick up on like certain voice actors that you've heard before. So we got Jason with like Drago. Even with like, let's see, what's a good example? Strata. I forgot the name of his voice actor,
Dan
but like,
Petrovic.
he's the same one that he voiced like, at least he voiced the Cheyenne during Beyblade Metal Masters. He also voiced, I'm pretty sure he voiced Spectra.
Yeah, Dan Petrovic.
Oh, that's his name. Okay. It's crazy though. Like you just hear the voices and everything. Even like for Ren from the original Bakugan, like in Gundalian Invaders, he was the same voice actor as Tsubasa. And I think there's another one too. I can't think of it off the top of my head. Maybe.
Yeah, Scott
Maybe
McCord.
something-
I think Scott McCord voiced someone in Beyblade. He was the original Dan Kouzo's voice.
Oh, okay.
Devin voices Zio or something. Is that his name? I think I remember. Yeah, Devin voices Zio.
My brain just exploded.
Yeah, you didn't know that? Devin voices Zio in Beyblade. I think Shogun Steel. I think that was the season or
Oh, it was
not the
Metal
Zio from
Master.
not the Zio from the first series of Zio of like the newer series.
Like Zio Abyss.
Yeah, I think that was
From, like,
it.
Metal Master. I did not, dude. My head just exploded.
You didn't know this?
No, I didn't know that. I didn't know he voiced Zio. Now just thinking about the voice, like holy crap! I watched you metal fight so much, and it's like that's crazy.
Yeah, that's the
brain
voice actors for you. They're so talented, and now now Devin's voicing Sonic.
My head's gonna like explode. Just like, holy crap!
Yeah,
He's
Sonic
so
Prime on Netflix. He voices Sonic, and it like exploded. It's like, into like a viral internet thing. They found out that he was voicing Sonic, and immediately I'm like, yes.
No.
But yeah, it was so cool too to be able to talk to Jason myself. I talked to Jason. I know you talked to Devin and Julius and Jonah on the broadcast back then. When are we going to see the broadcast again?
Hopefully sometime soon. I mean, it's also like, M Stubbs and Baku Blade not being like too much in the community with things, like obviously looking on the side of like, the TCG aspects of things. It's not like they've quit or anything. It's just like on hiatus in hopes of like, more cards and such. But can't force them to do anything. But at the same time, like I would love to like do some more episodes of it for sure. At least doing like, if not like going with crazy episodes, at least doing one more and just telling what's going on with it and everything. So it's not left on like a crazy like cliffhanger with it. Because I really enjoyed doing the broadcast for sure. Like tuning in and doing that basically every weekend or every other weekend. It was a lot of fun.
And now you're doing this one.
Yeah. Oh man, it's just crazy.
But yeah, that I would very much like to hear the broadcast again, because like I remember I put it on during work a few times, so I just listened to you guys like chat all day, and it blew my mind when you had our Triple X on a Raging Cajun on. It blew my mind. I'm in the middle of working, and all of a sudden I hear my name, and I'm like, wait, what? What are you guys talking about me? What are you guys talking about?
It's just crazy because you get that name drop and it's like, oh my god, they know me or they're talking about me. I still feel about that whenever people say like Kimbo. I'm like, dude. We even like whenever you mention me in a video or something, and Jet says my name, I'm like, just said my name. Oh my god, this is real life.
Yeah, I think that's. I think we're gonna leave it off there. I think this is a good time to sign off on this podcast. Thank you again so much, Kimbo, for coming on to the BakuTalking Longer podcast, and it's been an honor. And as per, me and Kimbo are gonna put links to a lot of BakuTubers in the description, so definitely check them all out. Definitely check out Kimbo's channel as well. Go subscribe to it if you enjoy his content. Follow Kimbo on Twitter and Instagram. You want to plug into your Twitter and Instagram, or do you want me to?
I could, yeah. So my Twitter is like the same as my old channel name, which was Kimbo Slice 1305. I never switched it on there. On Instagram, it's just Kimbo with an underscore YT. My YouTube, just Kimbo. All that good stuff. On Instagram, I usually just show off like photography and whatever else in life, and also video games because I love nerding out about video games. Hashtag Zelda and Pokemon and a lot of other games I play too. But yeah.
All right.
And that's about it, I think.
Definitely follow Kimbo on all those socials and support BakuTalk by pressing the thumbs up and give us a subscribe for more awesome Bakugan content. I've been Haru Ren. This has been Kimbo. Hashtag we want cards, and thank God for rapid fire.
Yup. Hashtag we want cards. Spin Master, we love you. Cards, por favor.